It's you. It's you. It's all of you watching right now from wherever you're watching from. Hello, my name is Jared Fuller, aka the Dare Bear. Today's date is Sunday, November 13th, 2022. Thank you so much for stopping by and indulge me for the next hour. Welcome to the Sunday video update. The only Sunday video update that you're ever going to enjoy because, well, I'm the host. And joining me off camera this week is my dad here, and Amy's over here off camera on the couch. Um, she doesn't say much. I guess we don't pay her enough. It's not in her contract to speak. So we just, we let her be a part of the show, but she doesn't speak much. But anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a wonderful week. My week was spectacular, and I can't wait to delve in and share that with all of you. We do have plans this week. There are some important things coming up this week. Let's see, today's Sunday the 13th. So in 3 days, which is Wednesday, I will be commemorating 23 years of writing journals. I'm going to have my traditional book gathering in my bedroom. I'll probably put together a quick video montage and just, kind of make a little video of it and kind of talk about things a little bit. For those of you who are probably not familiar with me writing journals and poetry, I've been writing journals for going on 23 years as of Wednesday. So be sure to look for a video for that. And as you can see, Dad's getting all of his hunting gear around because he's going to be going up north to my cousin's house. And he's hopefully going to bring back another deer. Although our freezer is packed full of venison, hamburger, backstraps, you name it. Yeah, Dad says he might be giving some of that meat away to some people who might be needing it because, yeah, our friend Kelly, because it is starting to get cold. It is snowing in Michigan now. In my area, we just had snow flurries today when I was outside, and it's freezing. I was outside recording some videos, but anyway, how was your week, Dad?
Pretty good. A lot of stuff done.
And this lady next door to me just came into my chat log. I didn't know your name was Amy Marion.
Yeah, it's Amy Marion.
And she says, "Hi, Jared." Well, hello from only inches away. So your week was good?
Yeah.
How about yours?
Could have been better.
Could have been better. It could always be worse too.
We survived another week.
It could always be worse.
We survived another week.
So I have got some awesome news to pass along because it's been quite the interesting week. I'm debating on which topic I want to talk about first. Oh yeah, the fact that I am single again. Yes, I am single again. Woohoo! I'm not going to get into too much detail here because I don't want to give too much away. But what I will say is that my ex thought that her crystal meth addiction and 40 other fuck buddies were more important than her relationship with me. So adios. You can have your life and I'll continue living mine. And all of my happiness and warmth and my network of friends and the people I love and care about and the people who choose to spend time with me and don't make up excuses and set roadblocks to where I can't visit them and hang with them and just, get to hang out, know each other. I have real friends with real desires to want to meet me. There's lots of people who still want to meet me, and I'm going to make that happen in one way or the other. But I don't need someone who's going to drag me down. So sayonara, bitch. You're gone. And another big thing happened this past week. I had to put someone in their place in Messenger because they thought they were going to come into my chat log and try to tell me things about childhood cancer and awareness that are just factually incorrect. Now, I don't have the paper in front of me, but I did save the screenshots. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go into my Facebook and I'm going to see if I can access those screenshots because I want to read this aloud. I want for people to get an idea of what not to say to a childhood cancer survivor. So I'm going to go into my Facebook here. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Give me a second here. Right here. So this was the first red flag. No one needs to know the facts about childhood cancer to know that we need more research into ways to cure it. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can look at this. The one being that, okay, overall, generally speaking, whether you're part of the demographic or not, it is true that we need to know the ways to cure it. Okay, and we need to know what causes it, what cures it. But it's kind of a contradictory statement to say that no one needs to know the facts about childhood cancer to know that we need more research into ways to cure it. Well, that is a self-contradiction, because you have to know facts in order to know that we need cures and what causes the cancer. You have to have the facts. So that's stupidity strike number one. Stupidity strike number two is the most passionate lobbyists for more funding for childhood cancer research are not survivors of childhood cancer, which is also factually fucking incorrect. There actually are survivors like myself who are currently lobbying for cures. Do you not watch television? You see and hear about astronauts who are childhood cancer survivors. They work for NASA. I can't remember her name right off, but she's lobbying and advocating for cures for childhood cancer. And it's not just the bereaved parents, and this is not a slam or a cheap shot at bereaved parents, because they're not the only ones who are lobbying. There are, in fact, childhood cancer survivors who are lobbying for cures for cancer. So that's strike number two. Strike number three, and I say this one for last because this is a direct cheap shot at my friends who are bereaved parents by this individual who I'm not going to name names. This idiot, this jackass, says those parents don't have to be knowledgeable about the causes and cures of childhood cancer in order to know that it is something that needs to be stopped. And you are fucking wrong. Now, you have to know the cures to prevent further things like this from happening. If the more facts we know, the more we can make new discoveries. And if you had even half a fucking brain, you would know that each and every case, and mine included, and many others, past, present, and even in the future, those cases are included in the demographic of childhood cancer. That information from each individual case is how we strive. That's part of the frontier in discovering ways to treat and cure the stuff. So if you're going to come at someone like me who is a survivor of 30 plus years and tell me that facts aren't important, you can go fuck yourself, and I will verbally bitch slap you into purple oblivion before I just simply, drop you like a stone. Don't come into my messenger and preach bullshit and then go on your Facebook and complain and whine because, Jared was being mean. He's not who he says he is. You know what? Fuck you. Don't come in my messenger being stupid. I will put you in check. And this is the kind of shit that I've been dealing with. It frustrated me, and I actually did tell this person, I'm going to stop you from replying to this nonsensical garbage that you sent me to keep from further embarrassing yourself. Well, it was too late. He went on in a Facebook post and just bitched and bellyached about, Jared's being mean. Shut the fuck up. That was before I blocked his sorry bitch ass. And I'm glad that he's out of my life. I have removed 2 toxic people from my life permanently. And I feel great. I haven't felt better. So those were the big things from last week that I wanted to talk about. So Dad, you said you had a good week. I don't want to gobble up all this time. How you said you had a good week?
I had a great week.
Awesome.
Don't mind me, I'm just making noise.
Yeah, I hear the clitter clatter behind me. What's going on back there?
I'm just putting my stuff back up against it. There.
But I am happy to be a free man again. It's wonderful. I gave this person the benefit of the doubt. I thought things were going to work out. She had shown her true colors. and now she's gone. She's history. I don't need that in my life. I can do better.
Good to find out now, then down
Yeah,
the road when you
and
enter,
her son,
feel bad for him.
he's nonverbal autistic, and I never had the chance to meet him. Now I'm glad I didn't, because if I would have gotten attached to him, then this happens, I would have been shattered. I would have been gutted. So in a broad sense, I'm glad that I never had the chance to meet him, because I would have easily gotten attached to him.
Sad that you didn't, but
But overall, I'm just glad that it's done. I'm glad that that relationship, 3 months of my life down the fucking drain, wasted it on someone who couldn't give a fuck, couldn't be bothered either way. They were talking about moving up to Petoskey, which is a day-long drive from here, which is all the way up by the Mackinac Bridge. They were talking about moving up there, and then had the guff to say, well, we can see each other on holidays. And when you vacation in northern Michigan, well, you know what? You can keep your bitch ass up there, because this relationship is not going to last. I kind of outlined the information in the daily rant, or not the information, but the details in a recent daily rant I had recorded. But I'm happy. I'm glad to just be single again and to do what I want to do, which I did anyway. But I did not cheat on this girl. I was faithful to her in the 3 months, which, by the way, is the longest relationship I've been in thus far in my entire life. Because I've never really been interested in relationships, but it was the longest. And it really wasn't much of a relationship to begin with, because I only saw her once prior to the relationship, when we had officially sealed the deal, so to speak, not tied the knot, because we didn't get married. I'm not that stupid. But we were together for 3 months, in the relationship for 3 months. I only met her one time prior to that. And then during the course of that relationship, I didn't get to see her at all. And each and every single time that I made attempts to want to see her, I wanted to take her out on a date. I wanted to meet her son. I wanted just to be in her life and to spend time with her. She kept setting up barriers and roadblocks, preventing me from doing that. And that's when I decided that I'm fucking done with this relationship. And then she was accusing me of doing things that I never did. Having contact with her son's biological father. I don't know who he is. I don't have any beef with the guy. I've never talked to him, not once. I don't know who he is. I couldn't be bothered to know who he is. I don't have a beef with him. But she was trying to, because I wouldn't play along with her little smear campaigns and smear tactics, she decided that she was going to call me every name in the book. And I told her to go fuck herself. And then I told her, we're done. I'm not going to be disrespected. I'm not going to tolerate that. I don't care how much I loved her. I don't love someone enough to be, to tolerate disrespect. And I am one of those people who will not tolerate disrespect. I'm just not going to put up with it. But anyway, I am happy to be single again. I am beyond happy. When it became official that I was a single man again, I told Dad, I said, I feel like going out and fucking dancing, And actually I didn't go out dancing that night, but I had a few beers. I went out down to the back 40 and had a few beers. And now that the toxicity is gone from the back 40, I've been going there periodically and enjoying the company and talking to people I haven't seen in a while. And it's been better now that the toxicity and the fat has been cut off. It's much better. Now I go down there, frequently. Well, I wouldn't say frequently. I go down there more than I did prior. But it's been nice. It's been a pleasant experience. I am happy to be, somewhere to go. And yeah, I've noticed that too. The people are treating us a lot better. I think it had to do with the other workers. Because I noticed the attitudes of the workers have changed since, like I said, the toxicity had been removed. It's actually a more pleasant experience at the back 40 now. And there are certain people that I really don't care for, and I just don't speak to them. I stay on my end of the bar. They stay on theirs. I sit there and drink a beer, and I'm good. It's all good. And if they have anything to say, they usually say it under their breath, or they mumble it where I can't hear it, which I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't bother me either way. But it just seems like everything's kind of turning around for the positive. But I don't want to get my hopes up, and I'm not, I don't want to make any proclamations of a perfect life, because life is never perfect as we know it. But it just seems as though things are getting better, progressively better. Um, it was on Friday night when I talked to Reese, wasn't it? Yeah, on Friday night, because my buddy Reese had video chatted me from his mom's phone, and he was watching WWE SmackDown. We were watching WWE SmackDown, and it's like, who do you think's going to win this match? And I said, well, gee, I don't know. Why don't we just sit and watch the match? But he was making predictions, and he kept changing his predictions throughout the course of the match. It was kind of funny. It was between the Usos and who are those other guys? It was the Usos and New Day. Is New Day still even? What was it? New Day? I don't fucking know. I don't watch wrestling as much as I used to. I don't watch it enough to actually know who's who and who's the villain, who's the face or whatever, the heel or whatever you call it. I have lost great interest in wrestling, but I watch it on occasion. If Dad watches it, I'll watch it, or I'll be doing my own thing over here on the computer. But I am in a good mood today. Things are, like I said, they're turning around. They seemingly turning to a more positive stance, and I can accept that and appreciate that. But yeah, it's been kind of a busy, kind of a hefty week, but I take care of my own, and I can hold my own pretty well. And usually when there's a problem, Dad will say, well, what's the problem? So what's going on? And I tell him, nothing I can't handle. I got this. And he'll try to interject, Dad being Dad, don't fuck with my kids. But I tell him, I got it, Dad. I'm 36 years old. I can handle shit on my own. I can deal with it myself. I got it. And he's always wanting to fight my battles. And it's like, no, it's not your fight. It's mine. Up where? I'm not talking about the back 40. I'm talking in general. I'm not talking about that, though. I'm talking in general, whether it be like on social media or just anywhere in general. I'm not talking in specifics. I'm saying in general, I can handle my own. I can take care of myself in that regard. But Dad usually, he's always interjecting, oh, someone fucking with my kids, I'll hurt you. And it's like, Dad, we got this. Let us deal with this. Let us handle this in the best way that we see fit. But that's what dads do, I guess. It's the nature of fatherhood, don't fuck with my kids. I don't care how old they are. You mess with my kids, you're going to mess with me. That kind of thing. But Dad knows I love him, and he knows I appreciate him. And speaking of that, speaking of fathers, this past Friday was Veterans Day. My dad is a veteran. I'm going to try to block out that light because it's a lot of light and it's cold. Today, Dad. It's cold. Yeah, tell me about it. Friday was Veterans Day, and I hope you all had a pleasant Veterans Day. We didn't do anything special for Veterans Day. Yeah, he could have enjoyed a free meal at a local restaurant, but he decided not to. He decided to stay home, kick back, and watch some television, which is, when you're on the go constantly and you're doing this, doing that, it's nice to actually just kick back and relax and say, fuck it. Let the world do what it's going to do. As long as it doesn't affect me, I don't care. But, so there's going to be that one big thing that I know of happening this week. And what Dad's going to be up north at my cousin's house. Maybe he's going to be up north hunting. So I'm going to have to hold down the fort until he comes back. So it's probably for, I don't know, a few days. Depending on if he gets a deer, he'll be back sooner. He'll be back earlier. But Amy has an appointment on the 17th this week, and it's in Owasso, and I'm going to have to take her to her appointment in Owasso. And that's, just in case Dad's not back in time to take her, I can take her, and I already agreed to it. So, yeah, Dad gave me gas money to take her if he's not back in time. But the reason I volunteered to take her is because it'll expand his hunting time so he doesn't have to rush all the way back from all the way up in Gladwin County back down here so he can take her to Owasso. I'm already down here. I can just take her to Owasso with my vehicle. It's not a problem. And I really want him to get another deer, although we do not have any more room in our freezer. It is packed full of venison. You got specifically hamburger, didn't you?
Yep.
And back straps.
I'm looking for a little freezer though.
A little freezer?
If anybody knows what a cube-like freezer?
Like a deep freezer? Or
A little cube-like one, small one.
oh, I see. So like a little cube freezer.
Yeah.
Where we can store additional food. I made a pot of chili last week. It's actually the same day that I tied one on. Yeah. No, I'm talking about when we got drunk, or we weren't drunk, we were buzzed. I guess that's the same thing as being drunk. I don't know. But I came right home because we already had like 3 packages of venison hamburger already out to thaw. I'm chopping up onions, blinded by my tears from the onions. I cannot chop an onion without crying to save my fucking life. But I prepared a small pan of my chili. It turned out fantastic. What I like to do, and I've gotten, by the way, lots of awesome suggestions on Facebook. Someone even suggested that I add a cinnamon roll to chili. I've never had a cinnamon roll with chili. I don't know how good that would taste, but can't knock it till I try it. But what I like to do, and this is something that I should have done before and didn't, I take saltine crackers and make sandwiches just with butter and just dunk it in the chili and eat it like that. It is good. It is fantastic. And I don't buy store-bought chili. I make my own chili. I don't buy chili in a can. I prepare my own. Yeah, I don't get any kind of canned chili whatsoever. However, because I add diced tomatoes, so naturally, of course, those come in a can. My kidney beans come in a can. My sauce comes in my tomato sauce comes in a can. And then I got a little jar or a little thing of chili powder. So, just a few ingredients: onion, green pepper. Just throw it all together, and bada boom, got chili. That's how I make it, and it's gone already. Oh, and there is another announcement that I was going to make. I'm officially done with CenturyLink. Now they're Brightspeed, and I'll never fucking go back to them again. So, Dad and I were in Saginaw last week, and Dad got a new phone through Verizon, and it was brought up in conversation how I get DSL internet through Brightspeed through CenturyLink, and I mentioned how much I'm paying per month, and I'm on a 30-day trial with this device called Internet Gateway through Verizon. It's a white cube, and I just plug in the Ethernet cable and then plug it into the back of my computer. Done. And my house phone is still active through Brightspeed, and I have to port that number over to Verizon. I'll be doing that this week. Or, before you go up north, before you head up north, perhaps we could take care of it then. But it's going to be a whole hell of a lot cheaper, and the internet is actually faster. So I don't know if you're experiencing pixelation on your end. Of course, I'm going to find out after the playback. I'm going to go back and see if there's any pixelation issues or streaming issues. But so far, it's been working wonders. I am done with CenturyLink or Brightspeed or whatever the fuck they want to call themselves now. I'm done with them. I'm never going back. I am happy. I'm satisfied with this little device. I'm on a 30-day trial. There's no contract, by the way, no contract. So how Dad and we agreed to this is it's going on his bill. However, I'm going to be paying for that portion of his bill for my home phone and my internet. I will be paying for that portion. And you're pulling on this cord here. This phone's coming out. Yeah. So I'll be paying for my portion of the internet and the landline phone. I'll just give, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him the money. He's going to put it on his card, and then he's just going to take care of it with his card. But that's, and it's going to be a lot cheaper. The first bill is going to be high, you know, activation and all that stuff, taxes and surcharge. But after that, for the next 10 years, it's going to cost me roughly about $70 for home phone and internet. And it's going to be great. I'm looking for it. It's going to save me a lot of money because I'm currently with Brightspeed. I'm paying about $130. Too much as far as I'm concerned. And it's slow ass internet. And I tried to, they sent, Brightspeed sent me a DSL modem, and I have no way, they don't send instructions showing you how to hook this up. I thought it would be a simple hookup, but you've got your phone line, you've got your Ethernet, your internet, you got all that stuff, and they do not explain anywhere how to install it. And I called them up, and I spoke English because English is my primary fucking language. Evidently, it's not with them. And I explained to them in any number of ways possible that this is not working. I have hooked it up in the same way that I hooked up the other modem, and it's not fucking working. And what do you mean you get nothing? What do you mean? What are you talking about? You know what? Just cancel my shit. After 13 years, I'm officially done with you assholes. I'm not dealing with you anymore. So I have found a much better deal, and the internet is much faster, which I enjoy. I thoroughly enjoy this. And I'm decided I'm going to stick with it. So fingers crossed that things work out. And by the way, they said that I'm not going to have any issues, or I shouldn't have any issues with, like if I make a phone call out or if someone calls in, it's not going to boot me off my internet like it does with Brightspeed. And it pisses me off every single time, whether it be I make a phone call or someone calls my phone, the house phone, it'll literally boot me off the internet. I don't have that problem now, or at least I shouldn't have that problem. What are you doing? You just suddenly have this hankering to want to clean the house. Oh, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so it's been a busy week, and I've been enjoying it. Like I said, there's been a couple of rough spots, but nothing that I can't handle. I had taken care of the situations, and I certainly do not appreciate people coming into my messenger and telling me what they think they know, because they are. And by the way, this person who was writing all this stupid shit to me, he was making proclamations about how bereaved parents feel and what they should and should not accept. And this is someone who is not a member of the childhood cancer demographic, let alone is he a bereaved parent because he doesn't have kids. But he was speaking so profoundly, like he was preaching the choir of childhood cancer advocacy and you know, cures and all this other stuff. And I put him in his place, and then he went and whined about it on a fucking Facebook post. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to sit back and let some moron come in my messenger and try to tell me what he thinks it is when I, as a childhood cancer survivor, actually fucking know what it is. So I don't deal with that. And you know, he uses the excuse he's got autism and Asperger's and all that. And I was not in any way attacking his autism or his Asperger's. He's a 70-year-old guy. He's single. He lives by himself. And he is a person who is known to wallow in self-pity. And, you know, he's so big on what he's big on. And I told him, I said, you're not going to say anything more because I'm already getting pissed off with you because you're speaking garbage and it's hideous and it doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to stop you from embarrassing yourself. And you have no position. You are in no position to talk about what parents should be thinking and feeling when you yourself have never been through that. And by the way, and I found this out after, he supports the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts and both organizations to whom of which have been the center of child sex abuse scandals in America for ages. And that's another red flag. When you're complicit with that shit, that just cements my decision to fucking block you on social media and never speak to me again. I'm more than happy to get rid of the garbage. You're done, you're out, goodbye. But although I will say I'm not particularly in agreement with, what's going on with childhood cancer advocacy, so I don't want anyone thinking that I'm defending what's going on with the fakery and the, look at me and all that shit. I will never support that. But when you make a statement, something as such that, well, there are no actual survivors who are lobbying for cures, you are factually incorrect. And I'm not going to let you off the hook for that. You're wrong. Demonstrably fucking wrong.
I know two survivors right now.
Yeah?
Myself, you, and my buddy Fred's daughter.
Yeah. Yep, Melissa Priest. I went to school with her. We were in the hospital together. We didn't have the same kind of cancer, though. I thought we did. Melissa didn't have Wilms tumor. She had some other kind of cancer, but we had cancer together. Same time, same hospital. My dad worked with Melissa's dad. His name is Fred Priest. He worked with him at Thompson Boats. This was 30 years ago, when Thompson Boats was still in St. Charles. They worked together. And they were also in the hospital with their kids together. Dad was with me, Fred was with Melissa. So, and that's always been my thing. And there's a misunderstanding, I think, or maybe perhaps a miscommunication on, because when I say if you've never had to live that life, you are in no position to talk about that particular lifestyle. And there's a confusion there because it sounds like, or at least I think most people are assuming that I'm saying that if you have not lived this life, you can't talk about it at all. You have no reason or right to speculate on anything if you have not lived through that. Now, if you're not a member of the childhood cancer demographic, and generally speaking, you say childhood cancer is awful. Well, I agree with you, and I applaud you on that. I will always agree with you if you tell me that childhood cancer is awful, irrespective of the fact that you're out or in the, within the confines of the demographic or outside of it. I'm still going to agree with you regardless. But when you're not in that particular demographic and you speak profoundly as if you know what the fuck you're talking about, that's a problem. And I will put you in your place, and I'll have no problem doing it, and I will not lose sleep. Here, have some bleach is in the chat log. Hello, Bleach. I think you were here last week. I hope you had a good week, Bleach. My week, I don't know if you were just getting in or if you've been watching since the beginning, but my week has been awesome. I'm not going to repeat it again. Just wait until I'm done, and then you can go back and watch the replay. But my week, this past week was pretty cool. It was great. But however, like I said, this coming Wednesday will be 23 years that I've been writing journals. I'm going to be doing my traditional book gathering in my bedroom. I'm probably going to put together a small video montage. And I'll have, a video here on my channel, and I'll kind of share with everybody what's going on and what I actually do for the video montage, or not the video montage, but what I actually do for the commemoration of that day. And speaking of commemorations, this past Thursday, November 10th, was the 47th anniversary of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. The SS Edmund Fitzgerald capsized on Lake Superior. They were on their way hauling iron ore to Detroit, and they capsized in Lake Superior, killing all 29 men on board, including the captain. And so they had a little commemoration at in the Upper Peninsula for that. And back in September, I was in the Upper Peninsula and I was in Marquette for the very first time, and I actually did get to see the waters of Lake Superior. And with that being said, I actually did think about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald because it's a very important piece of Michigan's history. Gordon Lightfoot had a song about it back in 1976. What's that? Oh yeah, they're finding like bits and pieces of the ship, like the artifacts or whatever. They're finding, discovering bits and pieces that had come off the ship in the bottom of the lake. It was a tragic day in Michigan's history. As I said, Gordon Lightfoot had a song called "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald." It was released back in 1976 on his "Summertime Dream." I think it's "Summertime Dreams" album is the name. I think that's the name of that album, "Summertime Dreams." It was released in '76 anyway. But the accident, the capsizing of the boat didn't actually happen until '75, and then the song came out a year later. Bleach had made another comment. I guess I didn't read. I would have joined earlier, but I was having a horrible headache. Well, yeah, it's the change of the weather. We are experiencing weather change here in Michigan, drastic weather change. It snowed earlier, and
they got snow on the ground up at High North.
Yeah. Oh, they got snow on the ground where you're going. Okay, so you'll have tracking snow when you go hunting. Down here, the snow has not stuck to the ground yet, but it's going to be chilly. We're going to be in the 30s and 40s all this week. It's going to be really cold. As I said, it snowed already today. And by Tuesday, I think Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest, they're talking about, or one station is predicting our first accumulating snow of the season, but the other stations are like, nah, I don't think anything big is going to come of that. We're just going to get general rain snow mix moving through. I guess we'll just have to wait until Tuesday and Wednesday gets here.
But remember, people, this is Michigan.
Yeah, this is Michigan. Stranger things have happened for sure. I remember on Christmas Day. This was back in, I think, 2009 or 2010. On Christmas Day, we had thunder and lightning with snow on the ground, which I thought was really fucking awesome. But it wasn't snowing during the thunderstorm. It was just every time it would the lightning would flash. You could see the snow. It would illuminate the landscape. It was just really cool. But although we do sometimes have thunder and lightning with snowstorms, it's called thunder snow, and that enhances the accumulation. I remember one year when we had a big winter storm come through, we had thunder and lightning mixed in, and the next morning, because the storm came in at nighttime, and when we woke up the next day, we had 17 inches of snow on the ground. So the thunder and lightning certainly enhances the snowfall. We also have here in Michigan what's called lake effect snow, where the wind comes off the lakes and it keeps the snow showers perpetual over the same areas over, a certain amount of time. And, thus the National Weather Service will usually issue a lake effect snow advisory or a lake effect snow warning or something like that for the coastal counties of Michigan. It's really interesting. Our winters can be brutal, but they can also be beautiful at the same time, depending on how you look at it. Some people don't mind driving in the snow. I do pretty good in the snow. I've had a few close calls, but I generally and typically do pretty good driving in the snow. I've never actually been in an accident. Yeah, I've never been in an accident, but I have, slid on the road. I've spun around. I hit a patch of black ice, not knowing until, of course, you drive on it. And I avoided a ditch by doing a complete, a 180. And I was avoiding the ditch. Luckily, there were no other cars coming. But Michigan winters do get brutal sometimes, and I do pretty good driving in them.
Here it's so bad we can't go down the road. You can't go down them. Can't make it out.
Yeah. I mean, you see the videos here on my YouTube channel where I'm shoveling snow, and like if I'm going somewhere with Dad, like if we go to Saginaw or somewhere else, I'll have my cell phone and I'll be taking video, recording video while we're on the road.
I'll throw my shovels in the back.
Yep, Dad will throw shovels in the tailgate, and I've got videos on this channel where we're in Saginaw when it's snowing, and just for entertainment purposes. I like to keep my channel on a varietal aspect. I don't want it to be about one particular thing all the time. I like to keep it random and just with different content. That's what keeps people coming back. That's how I boost my subscriber number. And then I do things like this, the Sunday video update, which, by the way, every Sunday from 3 p.m. Eastern time until 4 p.m. Eastern time, which would be 3 o'clock, or I start at 3 o'clock, which would be 2 o'clock Central. And then I end at 4 o'clock Eastern, which would be 3 o'clock Central. So just as a reminder, and to Bleach in chat, which if you're like Bleach, and if you come in here and if you're nice and you want to, start a conversation, I have no problem with that. Absolutely. Come on in, say hi, be nice. But the very minute I suspect you're being dishonest or disrespectful, and if your only intention is to come into my chat log being a dick, I will have you banned permanently, and I'll go back to drinking my Pepsi, and I'll enjoy the rest of my day.
19 minutes.
But 19 minutes for what? Oh, until the end. I know the hour goes by so quick.
Man.
It goes by so fast. But that's fine though, because there's another live stream that I watch here on YouTube. As many people, or as many of you watching this know, Bleach might not know, but he'll find out now that I'm an atheist, and I watch, I listen to Matt Dillahunty. Matt Dillahunty was with the atheist community of Austin. Now he's not. He's no longer a part of that. But he goes on a program called The Line and the Hang Up. And The Line is today at 4 o'clock my time, which would be 3 o'clock his time. Or, no, I'm sorry. I think I got that backwards. But anyway, it's on YouTube. And I watch his live stream, and his co-host usually is Jimmy Snow. He's the producer of The Line. And on Wednesdays, they have The Hang Up, which is another one of my favorites. And it's all, he talks about religion. He talks about politics, which I'm not political. By the way, speaking of politics, I'm glad I brought that up. I have met up with my township clerk, which I did not realize was my next door neighbor. She lives like 3 houses down from me. I am canceling my voter registration, so I will no longer be a part of any political process whatsoever. I don't get involved in any of that stuff. I've never been political. I voted one time in my life. That was when I turned 18. And it was for the governor race, I think, in the state of Michigan. But yeah, I've only voted one time. I'll never do it again. So I met up with my township clerk, and I had to print something off. She had to get it in writing that I hereby cancel my voter registration, and I had to sign my name, date it, give my address. I had to show her my driver's license to verify it, and she's going to send it into the state. I should be getting something from the Secretary of State in the mail, probably sometime this week, to verify that I did in fact cancel my voter registration. Then I'll probably have to send it back to Lansing. Governor Whitmer, Gretchen Whitmer, still our governor. She defeated Tudor Dixon. And so Tudor Dixon was a pro-lifer. She thought it was cute that underage girls get to experience being mothers, and it's fucking disgusting. I don't think there's anything sweet or special or cute about it. Governor Whitmer is for pro-choice, as am I. I'm pro-choice. So in that regard, I'm glad that she was reelected. What's that?
In Michigan,
Yeah.
They do have the third.
Where the women have the right to
But they
choose
did
to have an
pass that in
abortion, which is
Michigan.
great. Which is great.
In Michigan, they passed
Yeah.
it. But
Yep.
these other states that
They
didn't.
passed it. So they don't, so if you're a resident of Michigan, you don't have to cross state lines to get an abortion, because here in Michigan, now it's legal. You can do it. We voted on it, or I didn't vote. You people voted. But I no longer partake in the electoral process here in Michigan at all whatsoever, whether it be governor or president or the CEO of the local cheese factory. I am not involved in any of this shit anymore. I am happily detached from it. And I have my reasons for not being involved in the election process. There's many other people like me who do not vote. And, that's up to them. I made the decision for myself to back out of this, participatory government scenario where you are going to vote for your favorite person. I decided to back out of that because I don't think one person can change everything. And furthermore, well, Dad says that he feels that his vote doesn't matter. But in my situation, why I stopped voting is because what if it does matter? What if it really and truly does matter? I vote for someone who is elected, they get into office, they fuck things up worse than what they already are. So then that fault collectively kind of falls back on me, although I'm not the only person who voted, but I participated in that vote. So that's partly my fault. So by canceling my voter registration, this is me saying that it's never going to be my fault because I'm not getting involved in it. So
the thing is, Jared, say you voted and there's 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah.
Say you're the one person that didn't vote.
Yeah.
Or that voted against it. There's 1,000,000 other people. They're going to take the other people's side before they will yours, even though you voted against it. They're going to take it anyway, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
Your vote don't mean shit because it's not going to matter. You got 1,000,000 people that would it.
But that kind of circles back around to what I just said.
Yeah.
Now, what if I was a part of that 1,000,000 to 1 vote? What if I was on the side of the million people who voted? So, and if that person gets in there, then myself, with all the other million people included, we are to blame for the way things go if that person gets in and fucks everything up, which is why I'm done, y'all. I'm done with voting. I am backing out of the circus, which, by the way, I love the circus, but not this circus. And, people telling me, oh, Jared, people have fought and died for your right to vote. Well, guess what? They also fought and died for my right to not vote. It's the same thing. So that throws your theory right out the fucking window. If it's supposed to be some kind of a guilt trip, it's not working. My dad is a veteran. He didn't fight in war, but he was trained for combat. He was active duty for about 6 years. But yeah, I just decided that it's not for me. That was another big thing that happened last week. I relinquished my voter registration. I canceled it. I should be getting the official documentation from the state to verify that I have in fact canceled my voter registration. I just send it back to Lansing and that's it. So it should be now to where they're going to delete me off the voter list, which I'm glad. I just don't care. And I know there's many other people who don't care either. And they say, well, that's part of the problem. You don't care, and then things go bad. And then that one person who could have gotten in there to change things would have won had you voted. Yeah, but we don't know if they're going to change things until after the election. That's just it. And what if the change is bad? It's a risk I'm not willing to take. Oh well, tough shit. There's a lot of people who aren't going to be happy about that, but I don't care. I just don't care. And I got to tell you, it's liberating to not give a fuck about a lot of things. If you can find that power, or if you can find that within yourself to not give a fuck about issues, you're better off. You're so far better off. And you know, I'm sure there's people out there who are going to take issue to me being pro-choice. Well, it is a woman's body. It's her decision. You know, it is still healthcare, whether you like it or not. It's not up to me. Like if let's say my ex and I, which I'm also glad that this never happened, but let's say that I was still with my ex and she was pregnant with my baby. I can't force her to remain pregnant. Consent to sex is not consent to pregnancy, and consent to pregnancy is not consent to staying pregnant or giving birth. There's no that's it's not together. You can have sex, and if the woman gets pregnant, well, she can then have the option to carry the baby to term or abort the pregnancy. That's how that is. And who am I to force a woman to remain pregnant? It's her body and the fetus. And this is the problem with the pro-lifers, is that they give special privileges and special rights to fetuses, a clump of cells. That's all a fetus is, a clump of cells. That's it. And they look at that as murder. It's not murder. Sorry, it's not murder. We're not murdering babies. It's not what abortion is. But we can have that argument and that discussion all day long. I'm all for women's rights. They should get to decide what's best for them. And if it involves their bodily autonomy, of course they should have a right to make that decision. Crazy idea. Yeah. They got the right. Yeah, and that's the thing. Women can die from pregnancy. I mean, that's a life-threatening situation. It can be dangerous and it can be fatal. If in a perfect example, my mother and my brother almost died together when she was giving birth to him. My brother was a 13-pound baby. And my mother could have died. She could have bled to death giving birth to my brother. So in that regard, I would say, yes, it would have been my mother's decision to have an abortion. She has a right to her own life. Yeah, it's her body. She can do what she wants. Bleach says, I agree with you, man. Well, thank you, Bleach. I appreciate that. And he says, I'm going to go take a nap now. Have a good day. Well, you have a good day too, Bleach. And I hope that headache ears goes away. But hey, someone in chat agreed with me on the abortion issue. I'm happy about that. Okay, you know, because not everybody's going to take it lightly. You know, a woman, when a woman's pregnant, and Amy, I can get her, you know, opinion on this and her viewpoint. A woman's body is an incubator for a fetus. That fetus depends on the woman's body for survival. For anybody to say that a woman does not have access to her own bodily autonomy is fucking asinine.
Yeah, you get someone that drinks alcohol while they are pregnant, there's a 10 times 50-50 chance that child is going to be.
And that's one way of looking at it. But I mean, like, let's say, for example, if the pregnancy was a threat to your life, like there was a chance you could die.
Yeah. Take that child out of me.
Yeah, abort it.
My life if you have to.
Abort the pregnancy. You should have the right to do that.
Yeah, or abort it.
Yeah. You know, you have options. And by the way, abortion is healthcare. I don't care what anybody says. Well, people are using abortion as birth control. So what? It's healthcare. So who cares? You know, because not all birth control is effective either. You can be on take birth control and still get pregnant. It's not always effective.
What I would say too, stop having all these babies just for the welfare or whatever.
Well, that's a whole nother story, but yeah, I know. That's a different story. But well, here's a perfect example. We see these commercials where these starving children, and it makes me sad, in the Philippines. Donate $10, $20. Well, here's my thing. This is my idea. if I'm going to donate money to these third world countries where the starving children are, I'm going to adopt them. I'm going to bring them to America. I'm going to give them American citizenship, and I will adopt them, and I will give them everything they need. That would be my decision.
It's sad when they have these older people and these other countries, they want you to send $25 a month, Jared, but only want you to give $10 a month for these kids. Oh, what the hell?
You have a good day, Bleach.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. But I don't know why I'm on the topic of abortion again. I guess it just came up because Tudor Dixon, she was the runner-up to Gretchen Whitmer, the incumbent. Her name is Tudor Dixon. She lost the election. I don't know, that her ideas were just way the fuck out there. She was all for. She's pro-life. She thinks that it was in one of those ads where, you know, the smear campaigns are bashing each other. She thought it was cute. Oh, well, I think it would be so wonderful for a young girl to have the experience of motherhood. She would not allow abortion, even if it was rape or incest. She would not allow abortions.
What if that kid was 10 years old? Come on.
Well, even still, she would not allow abortion. She's pro-life. Yep. She's against abortions. I think if a 10-year-old girl's raped and it results in a pregnancy, she should have an abortion. Yeah. That could kill a 10, and just the thought of that makes me sick. But a 10-year-old girl being pregnant is no. She should have access to health care so as to where it's not going to potentially be a threat to her life. And that not just for 10-year-old girls, but for all women. All women.
Here's my opinion on that, Jared. What if she had a daughter that was 13, 14 years old, got pregnant? Would she allow her daughter to have that baby, or would she get an abortion for that without nobody knowing?
I was
it?
just thinking the same thing.
Like what she have to go through the parent with her being a minor? Would she have to get legal consent from the parent?
Exactly. But if her mother's not for that, she's against it.
Yeah.
What's her daughter gonna think? Well, geez, Mom, I gotta carry this baby for 9 months.
I gotta carry this baby to term. Yeah, I gotta carry this baby to term, and it could potentially kill me.
Yeah, see? So would she do it? No.
Yeah. I agree. That's another way of looking at it.
And not just her, it's other governor people.
Yeah, the governor people.
The government people.
See, making me choke here. This is why I canceled my voter registration, because there's just no way I'm getting involved. But I think I pretty much beat a dead horse on that subject. We are already down to the final minutes of this week's Sunday video update. I thank all of you for tuning in for this past hour. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you have an awesome week. I hope your last week was good. I hope the upcoming week will be great, if not better. So I'm going to turn the floor over to these two. So, Dad, any final words before we go?
Be safe. Keep warm and be cold where you're at. Watch your neighbors, check on them, or one another.
Amy?
Peace out. Be safe. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, everybody, when it gets here.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is the last Thursday of the month. It's 2 weeks from this coming Thursday is Thanksgiving. This week I'll be celebrating 23 years of writing journals. I started writing when I was 13 years old. I'm currently 36. I'm going to do something special on that day. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'll probably put together a video, like a little montage. I got to clean my bedroom so I can, I got to clean my room so I can get everything set up, and we'll get everything squared away. But I thank you all so much for tuning in this week. I will be back next week, which is going to be Sunday the 20th, I believe. I'm pretty sure next Sunday is November 20th, if my math I think my math is correct.
Yeah, because today's only the 13th.
Because today's the 13th. You add on 7, it ends up 20. But anyway, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you next week. Dad's going to go get the dog. Much love as always. Take care of yourselves, and I will be back next week. I am living the single life, y'all, and it's great. I am so happy to be back. Take care.